Welcome, everybody. I am Denise Smith, trying to get a little cozy. Sometimes I feel like if I meditate with a hat on, am I like blocking white light entrance to my crown, or is it okay? I think that it's okay to be cozy for a day, and we'll just let it penetrate everything, and it'll be fine. Our Metaverse is a community coming together through loving kindness, accepting and inviting all parts of everyone to be here together. This is not a place where we need to be our most beautiful and be our most perky and everything is great. This is where we bring it. It all comes here and it's all welcome here. And it's my intention to facilitate a community that helps each other hold each other's imperfections with love. It doesn't mean we have to focus on imperfections, but there is a place for them to be held so that we're not alone. And this, I hope, can be that place for all of us. That's my intention. I'm very, very grateful for you. Each time I'm like, oh, should I do it? Do they really want to come or not? And then I'm like, but I really like it when they give me their input. Yeah. And we all share together and they have this perspective and that other perspective really helped me. And so thank you. It's such an honor for people to actually be here with me. And I really, really appreciate that. I wanted to do check-ins tonight. And check-ins are where we kind of bring with us what we're still carrying from the day, from the week, from our life, from something that is maybe distracting us from being 100% present with each other in this moment. They can also be something you're just concerned about that you want to just air out. The interesting part of check-ins is that they don't invite response or input from somebody else or advice. It's just a place where we just get to go, wow, here's what's going on with me right now. And we all just acknowledge that that's what you feel is going on with you right now and give it a safe place to be. With that, I wanted to see if anybody's interested to feel free to share anything that like in our gatherings has been an influence on you that you've taken someplace else. You know, was it breathing with 4-count breathing like a box that really helped you settle down when you were feeling excited? Was it something, if there's something that you can think of, I love seeing all your faces. Is there something that you can think of that you've been able to use that we've kind of discussed or gone over in this class? That's interesting to me to see what we carry on with us outside of class, or what's been useful, or what's been an impetus for you to try to go down another route and learn something else. So I'd like to invite that with check-ins too. And whoever would like to go first is welcome. Does anybody want to do a check-in? Stace?
I will.
Sure.
I'm feeling pretty present, but I have shoulder and neck issues that keep going on. So that's a little distraction. But I will go ahead and answer your question, which is I've gotten so much out of our talk about lowering expectations and actually eliminating expectations, because I had already heard that concept through the Book of Joy with the Dalai Lama about lowering. But when you talked about it, it really made it come to life. And it just made so much more sense to really try to just eliminate them. And it's okay to still have hopes and dreams and all that, but expectations are really negative. And so that's been really helpful. And I used it today with a friend who was bummed out about her son. And I said, come on, we got to keep reminding ourselves not to expect too much. Just we get what we get and we should make the best of it.
How'd she take that?
Well, she didn't respond.
You planted the seed, right?
I guess she's a tough one. So
Thank you. Thank you, Stace. Would anybody else like to check in? Auntie?
Hi. Hey.
Hello, Zoom user.
Well, yes, I'm sorry. I was trying to log in from my computer, but I could only go on my phone. I'm having a little bit of difficulties, but I'm happy to be here. Thank you. I finally got
Yay,
on.
thank you.
And things are going well here. Yeah, just reminding me about the expectations and just kind of taking life on life terms has been really helpful for me too. Just really being more in acceptance and just kind of surrendering to what's happening instead of trying to control it and do things my way, because that doesn't seem to, the force of that doesn't always seem to work out. So I've been really working on just practicing that, and it's helpful. It's so nice to just kind of let things be. And so even though I'm really busy doing a lot of things, I love everything that I'm doing. I just have to, I'm just scheduling and trying to make it work and also have my downtime. So so over here everything's great. I feel like I'm doing really well, and I feel happy, and I'm happy to be here, so thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else want to check in?
I'll do a quick check-in.
Sure.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Wendy.
Hi.
Hi, good to see you all. I love this class, niece. So don't think it's like a favor that we're showing up for you. I really look forward to it. I missed it too last week. So
I'm sorry.
I know it's equally as nice. I'm doing good, and got COVID. When was it? Days last week or a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And so just kind of coming out of that, but doing good, and we got through it. And one thing that I do a lot from your class, well, there's a lot that I try to implement, but one thing that I find myself doing all the time was that exercise when we closed our eyes and we had to pretend to be looking at ourselves. I forget do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, what do I
That
need
was
right now when you're looking at yourself doing it? Yeah.
Yes, that was really powerful for me, because I know that I'm just this way where I'm looking for what other people are needing and not always looking at maybe what I might need at the time. And that's helped me a lot. If I'm feeling a little out of balance or out of whack or irritated, or whatever the situation is, I take a minute to do that, like just stop and look at myself, and like as if I'm looking at another person, because I feel like I can tell if I look at another person, oh, they might need some love, or they might need some this. And to do that with myself has been really helpful. So I use that a lot.
Nice. Thank you. I'm sorry. Rachel, do you want to check in?
Hello, everyone. As always, delighted to be here. So whether it's myself or the extensions of me, whether it's one or both of these two, I appreciate just having the open space to be completely comfortable, to bring the kiddos, to bring life as it is right here in my present situation. And for that, I'm very grateful. I'm grateful to have this time, this space just to learn and grow and to obtain some wisdom and just share life experiences with everyone. So I'll just be short and sweet. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm I think the last time we talked, I had just gotten back from Lake Tahoe, and that was a little bit overwhelming. And like the next day, Carlos Burley called me and said there's going to be a surf contest in Nazaré. And so my husband was like, you should go. And so I dropped everything and flew to Portugal. And it was like right after I was being really spontaneous, then that came up, and my flight went from here to Phoenix, got too much of a layover in Phoenix, flew back to San Francisco to fly back to Portugal so I could get there on time for the contest. So it was very long, very exciting. It's kind of, I remember the first time I got a call to go try to get on a plane to go to a contest. It was like adrenaline it was like I was a surfer, where's my board and do I have my suit? You could kind of pretend what it would be like to be them. And I was very filled with anxiety, and it was just being a spectator. But thank goodness I've had the opportunity to do that a few times. That is definitely my passion. And I got the opportunity, sorry, to do that again this time. Yay. Yeah. And it was outstanding. I got some really amazing opportunities to I was asked to film the director of the contest for the day in lifestyle photography, which put me in the best seat in the house for the entire day. So I got the best waves and the lifestyle photography, which was absolutely amazing. And then I had a chance to go to Italy right after that to go visit some friends for 5 days. So I'm just getting, I'm back, and I didn't realize how hard that time change is from Europe here is way harder than from here to Europe. And brought a nice cold back with me, and now my son is sick, and I'm doing the everything's temporary and we're flowing with it and be with each other. Today I've thought a lot about one class that we did together that was talking about trauma being kind of experiencing something without an empathetic witness. Do you remember that? It was like to me, the way that I word it is having emotions that are so big that we don't know what to do with them, and we have nobody to share them with. Doesn't mean that they had to experience what we experienced, but somebody to share them with that goes, hey, I validate that if I were in that situation, it would probably be a little bit rough. So we kind of get this overwhelming thing, and then we push it down inside of us, and there it sits until we give it some air to come out again. And I was just thinking about that today. Like, may I not be the person causing the traumas to other people. May I be there. Like today it was, how much do I be with grief? I wanted to, the day I got back, we remodeled 2 of our bedrooms with the flooring and painting and everything. And so it was pretty chaotic the second I got back. And I think I caused a little bit of too big of feelings for my family. Just go, come back, remodel a house, go. Like, ugh. So I'm wanting to take it slowly, wanting to appreciate. Also, I was thinking the real basics of mindfulness are where we get to the juice. That we almost feel like when we're learning, that you learn these basics and then you build off of those basics and you get to the next level. And then at that next level, you can build up to the next level. And yes, there is some of that with mindful meditation. But what's more, what I feel happens is we deconstruct the complex, and we start with complex and we deconstruct it down to simple, rather than starting with simple and making it more complex. This kind of does the opposite mindfulness. Is anybody confused when I say that? So when I was thinking, okay, let's do labeling tonight. Labeling in the beginning of learning mindfulness was very, very useful for me, because I kind of embodied all these emotions that I would have throughout my life. And when I stopped and started to label what was happening in my mind rather than become what was happening, it created this separation between my body and my being and what was happening emotionally. So maybe I can remember getting a flat tire one time when I was like 17, 16. I was on the freeway, I didn't know what to do, and I was pretty panicked. And instead of now becoming the panic, oh my God, right? And then all these stories. I got a flat tire because I didn't take care of my car. I didn't take care of my car because I'm not a good person. I'm not a good person because I'm not prepared. And all these ridiculous stories that we tell ourselves because we had a flat tire. Now, I would, using the labeling technique, be able to go, sense of panic, fear, self-judgment, rush, gonna let somebody down because I'm gonna be late. I hope that this will work itself out. Everything's temporary. And so I can kind of take all these things that are happening and I can see that they are in the situation, but they are not me. I can non-identify with them by giving them a label. Okay? So tonight we're going to go over labeling. I want to invite us to set our intention and our motivation for tonight. For those that might watch this in the future that have not gone through that with us, our intention is I will do blank. And our motivation is so that blank. And I invite us to do, sorry, my hand signals. I invite us to do an intention and motivation, both for ourselves and for others. So I can kind of exemplify that to say, it's my intention tonight to go over some kind of ideas about labeling, exemplifying some labeling, and a labeling meditation so that we can experience a tool together and we can share what that tool did within our experience and maybe have something that can ease anxiety or discomfort mentally in the future for all of us. Okay, so take a minute and just think for yourself. Kirsten, you're not muted now. Would you like to check in?
Yes, so I'm so sorry. Today was kind of an interesting day. On Monday, we had homework from my manager that everyone in my office had to create a calendar of the perfect day from when you wake up until you go to sleep and everything that you're supposed to do in those hours. I don't know, Denise, if you guys have done this before, but it was all about working your business, your personal, your health, taking care of yourself, when you're eating, when you're exercising, like everything. And he called it the perfect day. So then we had to turn all of our calendars into him so that he could call us and check in. Hey, did you row on the erg for, 2K or 5K or whatever? And so I had on their doctor's appointment. I'm like, okay, so I see where he's going with this. If you can do one day, then you can do it every day, as long as you schedule in the time, the blocks of time to do everything. And it was kind of like everyone was having fun with it. It was great. So then I went to a doctor's appointment and they've been running some tests on me for literally the last 7 months. And today they're like, okay, you need a hysterectomy. I'm 52. I've had 4 kids. And so I was like, I don't know. I kind of thought that maybe it was going to go in that direction. But then it kind of blew up my perfect day. So I was like, oh my gosh, here I was super jazzed. And so I called my business partner. I said, well, my day went from perfect to hugely imperfect. But so that was my day. Super busy with work, but I feel very organized and I am an organized person to begin with, but to even have this calendar set out was like a perfect storm, because one of my challenges I think I've shared with the group in the past is the work-life balance. And I will work, and it consumes me constantly. And that life balance and nurturing is what I'm lacking. And so this is kind of like, all right, this is forcing me to schedule that self-care, let's say, and personal time. So I love what you're doing. I love the invitations, and the group here is phenomenal, strong women and strong-minded women, and I think it's great.
Mm. Thank you for sharing that, Kirsten.
Yeah.
Mm. Let's give that one big breath, all of us, for Kirsten.
Thank you.
Mm. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, we can't schedule it all, but we can try.
Mhm.
And, you know, intention, I was thinking also today, I was thinking a lot today. Intention, you know, if we were to wake up in the morning and set an intention and motivation, and then, you know, I'm going to rest myself, clean up, and get ready for eating. And then just simply do that. And then the next, I'm going to intend on eating healthy, and then I'm going to just do that. And then the next, I'm going to intend to, if we can just create intention for each one of our steps, we get to feel the impermanence of every situation. We get to feel that life continually changes. We get to feel that there's new beginnings and endings all day long, right? And we start to become kind of these experts in saying, okay, so with this situation, I'm going to intend X, Y, Z. And if it doesn't work, I know when this situation's over, I'm going to have an opportunity to intend my next one for the next 15 minutes or hour or whatever it is. And it's amazing just how temporary each moment is that we go through in a day. I remember when I was starting intentions, it was like, I will be nice to everybody today. And by like 10 o'clock, I'm yelling at the dog and I'm telling my kid to get in the car. And it was like, I'm going to be patient with everybody for an hour. Once I could achieve that, something that was a smaller goal, right? Then it's like the next hour, I'm going to do this. Or then I got something from the doctor that I didn't want to hear. And so now I'm going to set a next hour or a next 15 minutes of not going to go punch anything while I'm so frustrated and confused. Right? And we just start setting these little goals so that we have success after success after success, rather than these giant goals where if we don't meet that whole goal for this giant time, we feel like we're a failure. So thank you for taking a minute. Did you guys get a chance to set your intention and motivation for tonight? If you haven't yet, take a moment now and just think. In the time that we're together, I will. And then so that something for you and something for others. Okay. So let me start. Let's just with our metaverse here. So labeling is the practice of silently naming or noting mental events as they occur. Okay. So it brings awareness to something. Oh, okay, a little fear here. Oh, a little nervousness, a little trepidation, right? Instead of becoming all of that, we just label it. Ah, that's here. It can include thoughts or feelings or sensations or sounds. I remember when I first started doing this, it was like clock ticking. And then it was airplane outside. And it was just the things that I was aware of. It took me a very long time to start to become aware of my emotions at the moment. But I could become aware of all these things that I was hearing while I was meditating so I labeled those. And the label is simply a word or phrase such as thinking. And I repeat it, thinking, or feeling. Maybe I don't know what I'm feeling, but I'm feeling. or itching. Jack Cornfield. Jack Cornfield invites us not to scratch and itch and to watch how temporary things are. And that's a rough one for me. Or hearing, I guess instead of clock, I can just do the experience of hearing. And the purpose of labeling is not to categorize or judge the experience, but to acknowledge its presence and to maintain awareness of the present moment by redirecting our attention back to the object of focus, such as the breath, when our mind wanders. So we can be like, judging, hang on, come back to the breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Planning, okay, inhale, exhale. We can leave planning out there. This technique helps to enhance self-awareness and supports the development of concentration, equanimity in meditation practice. Now I'm going to go over some more benefits than just that. Does anybody have any questions so far? All right. One of the benefits is mindfulness training. I think this is one of the primary and principal ones right in the beginning. It serves as a learning tool to better recognize when the mind has wandered and to gently guide it back to the object of meditation. So here we are, not supposed to think of anything. We could take 30 seconds. Maybe 100% of us did think of something in that 30 seconds. And instead of staying with what we were thinking and letting it carry us away, we notice, oh, starting to think about my brother. Bring it back to the breath. Not right now. Breath. Right? Planning's a big one. Worrying, wondering, just try to come back to the breath. And I also want to offer us, I want you to think of something that you have done a lot of times. Maybe, I don't know about you, but I can whip out chocolate chip cookies without a recipe in 8 minutes. I've done that a lot of times, right? And so with it, there doesn't come as much self-judgment on what are the cookies going to be like. Can I do this? Do I know how to cook? What do I put? All these stories that are part of making cookies, because I'm so familiar with those, go away. And now it's just simply this task of making cookies. And I want to use an example like that for what it's like to start meditating. You know, we expect ourselves to sit down and be these meditation experts who can just clear our mind for 20 minutes at a time right from the beginning. And we didn't even know that if you put baking powder and soda in the cookies, that they come out with a better texture. Right? We have to experience it a little bit. We have to try different ingredients in our meditation before we can get good at it, before we can totally calm our minds. So that practice helps us become more familiar, more of an expert, and have less of these stories and judgments of ourselves about who we are as meditators. I'm going to see past that. Hang on. So focus enhancement, labeling thoughts and sensations helps maintain concentration on the present moment. It's like seeing ourselves starting to veer off the road and just correcting the steering wheel back onto the road. So it helps our focus when we label. What? Emotional regulation. By labeling emotions, we can create distance from intense feelings. like panic, I'm on the side of the road and I'm changing my tire and oh my God, instead of, oh, I'm becoming this panic, I can say panic is here. I got it. I see it.
Mhm.
So by labeling emotions, we can create distance from intense feelings, which can lessen their impact and aid in managing emotional response rather than reaction. This is happening with me right now. This works beautifully in meditation when we're getting to know ourselves, which is so hard for us to really stop looking at everybody else and start understanding ourselves. It also helps in communication with others. When we say to them, starting to feel many different feelings right now, may I please have a minute before I give you a response? So we can label, lots of feelings. I need a minute. Helps us create another boundary when we're aware of what's going on rather than becoming what's going on. Well, cognitive clarity. It encourages the recognition of patterns in thoughts and feelings, promoting self-awareness and clearer understanding of one's mental processes. I know someone that anytime something starts to go wrong, their default becomes, I don't belong. I just don't belong. And with self-awareness, they can become more cognitive of, is it beneficial for me to go down that again? I'm seeing myself go to, I don't belong. Is that the truth right now? At least I saw my pattern. I did it again and I didn't belong. I did it over here and I went to didn't belong. I went to there and it went to didn't belong. What if I, did that version of me looking back at me meditation and just said, I do belong. What else am I feeling? Sometimes we can, when we label, oh, wow, I find myself planning all the time. What if I just didn't need to plan for right now? What if I were just right here? Or I find myself doing something else. When we label, when we're meditating, we start to watch our own patterns. Stress reduction. I don't know what it is about me, but I like to pretend that I'm not stressed out ever. It's like, oh my kitty. Acknowledging and naming stressors can diminish their perceived intensity, aiding in relaxation and stress relief. So stressed, stressor is loud voice, stress, back to the breath. That way it doesn't have to overwhelm us. Non-identifying, not becoming that emotion. Labeling fosters a non-judgmental stance, helping meditators observe experiences without becoming identified with them, thus cultivating a sense of detachment. So, tired is here, not I am tired. You are 9 million things all at one time. And tired is here. Your whole being doesn't have to be tired. Improved insight. Regular practice can lead to those deeper insights into the nature of our own mind, the impermanent quality of thoughts and emotions. It's here now. 10 minutes from now, I look back and I go, wow, it was so intense then. It's not that intense right now. Enhanced memory. I've experienced this, is really amazing. It can improve working memory and executive function. by regularly engaging the brain in categorization and recognizing or recognition tasks during meditation practice. Right? If instead of overwhelming our whole being with panic about my tire, instead I can say, stress is here, panic is here. I'm separate from that. My focused self is going to continue moving forward and doing what it needs to do, and panic can still be here or not. May you be well. All right, so that's our slideshow about labeling. Do we have any questions before we go into a labeling meditation? Does it make sense of what to do?
Okay, so yeah, so we're just going to be like identifying some of the feelings and thoughts that come up while we're doing the meditation, and maybe kind of it's just an exercise to do like in awareness of our thoughts pretty much, and then being able to identify them a little bit like that.
Sure. So I can do an example of one. We'll do like just to let you know what to expect coming up. We'll do a breathing, maybe we'll do 9 breaths, right? And then we'll do a quick body scan just to really get ourselves to be where we are, as settled as possible. And then we'll try to focus on our breath only. And I'll try to be as quiet as possible within that. And then our mind will wander. And we're trying to identify what is the subject that's causing the wander. Right? So we can say, planning dinner, come back, just breathing, not now. But we don't need to plan dinner right now. For the next 10 minutes, we just don't need to. We have to let ourselves be safe in this moment together. Right? And then we can come back to our breath. And the breath can be so intense. You can get into all these details where, did you know when we breathe in, it's cool, and when we breathe out, it's warm? I didn't know that until I started meditating. Like, whoa, this fresh, try it right now with your nose. Breathe in and then breathe out. Could you feel the cool going in and the warm breath coming out? You can even do it by putting your hand under your nose. Go breathe in, cool air, and breathe out, and it's warm air. There's so much to learn just on the breath, that one subject, if we get interested enough in it, can really help us not need to focus on all the things that distract us. So does that make sense, Marie? We'll just go through those steps, try to be here, try to stay on our breath, and then watch what distracts us. And then we'll label it. Planning dinner, come back, breathing, and then you don't force anything. Just try to be on breath alone. And then you'll see where your mind wants to take you. And then try to catch it, be aware of it, and then try to bring yourself back to your breath. Okay? Does anybody else have any questions before we start?
Yeah, Denise.
Yeah.
There's so many benefits to labeling. I just wanted to clarify. It sounds like it can be used in our daily lives, and then we're also going to use it in meditation.
Yeah.
And it's normally when there's like a stressor, or it's not when there's something great that's happening, or you're elated, or you're in awe.
Absolutely could be. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes. So much stoke right now, I can't even breathe. Just focus on my breath. Heck yeah. Right? Which is, maybe that's what the big wave surfers that I love do before they go out, right? Try to center themselves, but they're just so stoked to get on their jet ski and go surf this crazy wave, right? great performance, mellower outer to be able to just stay on focus for the performance because you're so excited about it. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
All right. So let's do a quick setup. If anybody has to go to the bathroom, please go. Or if you need to stand up and stretch or move something that you're just kind of feeling a little stiff with right now, go for it and get yourself all stretched out and comfortable and in a good spot. All right, so we'll start trying to create a place where we have our spine nice and straight. Things are flowing in our body and feeding out to all other parts of our body. And now with 9-round breathing, you can do this as you wish. I like to do the plug the nostril, breathe through the other one, plug the nostril, breathe through the other one, do that 3 times. So I'll do that. Do it as you wish. If you feel like I just want to breathe normally for big breaths for 9 times, go for it. If you feel like you want to follow along, let's do it. So I'm going to plug my left nostril and breathe in through my right, assuming we all don't have colds and we can breathe through both, right? And we're going to just breathe in through the right and out through the left. 3 times. In through the right. Out through the left. In through the right. Out through the left. I'm noticing my breath's getting longer each one I do. And then in through the left. Out through the right. In through the left. Out through the right. In through the left. And out through the right. And we'll let go and do 3 breaths without any plugging. Inhale. And as you're doing your breathing, just kind of observe, what is this breathing doing to my body? Is it having an effect on my body in any way? When you're done with your 3rd set of non-plugged breathing, just go back to regular breathing. Now there's a hand gesture that is your right hand into your left palm and your thumbs touching each other. That's the concentration mudra. So your right hand sits into your left palm and then you touch thumbs. Mudra are the hand gestures. And then you hold that like 3 inches lower than your navel. And you touch your own, you can touch your tummy with it or just have it just outside so that you're comfortable. So we'll do our quick body scan now. We'll start with the top of our head. We call that the crown. And we're just observing what's here as we breathe into it. We'll go down to our forehead and our eyes and our nose and cheeks. Yeah, remember, with your chin a little bit tucked, it keeps you more alert and less tired. Down to you can feel your mouth, your tongue, your lips. And then we'll go back to our ears. And then we'll feel our neck. And as we go out to our shoulders, we're going to imagine that they're currently ice and that they're melting into water. And then they're becoming so light, they just turn into like a gas, a steam. And we'll feel our upper arms down to our elbows. From our elbows down to our forearms and our hands. Give our hands a moment to really let us know so much going on in our body. Sometimes we feel temperature. Sometimes we feel tingling. Sometimes we feel pulsating. Then we'll come back up to the top of our spine and we'll go down our back now. Just nice and slowly. Maybe imagine one little vertebrae notch at a time. Breathing in until we get down into our pelvis area and out to our hips. Know that we're holding each other in safety as we do this scan so that you feel really comfortable to just pay attention to your own body and that you're safe. And feel the top of your legs down to your knees down to your lower legs and ankles, heels, and feet. Maybe take one more nice big breath to really settle in. We're going to spend some time now just on breath. So you can choose where you want to focus. Sometimes you can focus right outside of your nostrils near your upper lip. You can feel the breath going in and out. There's no right place here. It's where you feel the breath most pronounced. Sometimes you'll feel it in your lung area, your chest area, so you can focus there. Sometimes you'll feel it on your tummy, and sometimes it helps to put your hand on your tummy and feel your breath go up and down. So I'm going to give us about 30 seconds now of silence to just focus on our breath. And as our focus sometimes comes off that breath, to notice where it went and to label it and then to come back to our breath. Okay? So we're just focusing on our breath. Just as an example, I hear a sound in the background, so I'm going sound, and then I'm coming back to my breath. And then if you feel comfortable now, I'm going to go for 3 minutes of silence. Just encourage you. Just notice where your thoughts go or where your senses. I feel something in my fingers, sensing, thinking. Okay, and just label and come right back to your breath for 3 minutes now. key here is not to judge, just to label. I'm going to offer that you may be saying, wow, I'm distracted a lot. And I want you to turn that into, wow, I'm really aware of what's going on. And then for the last minute, I'm going to offer, some say that praying is speaking and meditating is listening. So just listen for this last minute. I'm going to invite you to put both your hands on your chest if you're comfortable doing so, and just give yourself a little bit of love. Maybe acknowledge all these things going on inside and just love them just as they are. When you're ready, wiggle your toes in your hands and slowly stretch out a bit and come back together. Mm. Mm. Like to invite any reflection on that. How was that?
I can share. For me, it was super relaxing. I had just listening to the sounds of nature, which were really neat. And I one thing I did notice is when you asked us to do the nostril breathing, it was easier for me not to think about other things because I was really trying to focus on like making sure I was doing this right. You know what I mean? Like I was focused on my breath and focus on the nostrils and things like that. So I really didn't. It kind of helps to have a different focus, so you're not thinking about all these other things that just go off, right? But when I there's like trees blowing and that was nice. And then of course we have some roosters that crow at all hours, and you know about that. And so that, and then the birds were starting do their little thing that they do in the night when they gather in the trees and they have those little bird parties, which are so cute. You know, those little,
The
you know, the
minor
ones
birds,
are,
I love
I
that.
was listening to that. The bird party, yeah, and so they do that in the evening. It's so cute. It's like I feel like they're just having their little happy hour. It's just adorable. And so the little bird happy hour. It's so cute to listen to. And but so all those things kept me from thinking about things I don't really need to think about, like dinner, like you said, and just random thoughts that just seemed to. But so those were kind of not there when I was able to just focus on the sounds and like labeling. Oh, the trees are blowing in the wind and they sound really cool, and then the birds, I was making up a little bird story in my head. It was really funny, you know. So it was just kind of to those were like really nice distractions in a way. And of course I just put a little label on them and they didn't seem to be you know, anything bad, just, you know, good. They kept
Good.
me from wandering, you know. So
Good. Good.
I hope
Notice
I hope
that
I did it right. I don't know if I did it right, but
there's no right. There isn't this right. All we're doing is going, where is my awareness going? What is it following?
Mhm,
What's pulling it one way or the other? What's happening here? You know, and then we do it
mhm.
over and over again, and we go, a different thing starts coming up. And anyway, anybody else?
Mhm.
I would love to hear how it was. Rochambeau, Wendy and Stace.
I'll go. Sorry, Stace, were you gonna hop on? Okay.
Go ahead. Wendy.
I've been trying to do this a little bit in a different way. Not I didn't know what the word was for it, so it was nice to have that you gave me like a definition. But mainly for like when I have so much going on, I do this at work a lot. Like there's so much input that I kind of can't even respond to anyone, and then people look at me like, is she spacing out? And I just now yell out like, processing, processing. Like I need to give me a minute to process and I'll get back with you. Like I'm not ignoring you. I just am processing. And so I think I've started, but um I noticed that I have started doing it more when I'm like busy because I get overwhelmed and I don't like that
Yes.
feeling. And this is different because I'm not busy. And so I was thinking like, oh, this will be interesting. And my brain was equally as busy, I would say. You know
Right.
what I
So
mean?
your body's not busy, but your mind
Yes,
can still
but
be
my
busy.
brain was like bing, 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 you know.
Yeah.
So so yeah, I enjoyed it and I was and I liked your and I did tired, you know, tired is here instead of I am tired. That was, you know, good. Like it's okay. I'm just tired of showing up. So
Interesting.
thank you. It was good.
Thanks,
I'm
Mom.
gonna use it.
Rachel, you still there?
I'm here. I'm in the dark. I had to get the little one to sleep. She's in my arms here. So
Hi.
right before the meditation, you're like, okay, if anything's stressing you out, just breathe through it. And at that point, she's banging on the door, screaming, like, and wanting to go play with toys. And I'm like, just gotta lay down. And I'm like, okay, I just need a minute. Denise is telling me to breathe. I'm gonna breathe because I'm feeling that stress. Like I want to do what I want to do right now. Clearly, Isla wants to do what she wants to do right now, and we're at a conflict here. So honestly, breathing through it was so helpful. And it's funny that just such a simple task of breathing shifted her energy, shifted my energy, and she just crawled up into my lap and fell asleep. And right before meditation started. So yeah,
Wow.
for me, yeah, I tried to show up and be present, and I get quite frustrated if I'm getting pulled out of, you know, where I want to be. And it just seems to be a lesson in life right now for me that, you know, I've got other people who I'm responsible for, and life doesn't always go
flowing exactly the way I want, and you've just got to make the most of the situation you're in. And when I just drop into that and I just acknowledge that and I take that lesson, it's beautiful. Something even better comes from the situation than I could have wanted. And it really did felt like magic when she just crawled up into my arms. And I really appreciated the meditation even more and savored it even more, because it just all came together. So thank
Nice.
you.
Beyond you, is that amazing?
Yes.
So great. Thank you. Thank you. Stace?
Well, at first, I just want to say, Rachel, I'm so impressed. I don't know if I could have done that when my kids were little, and just
Thank you.
join a group like this with kids running around. So I'm super impressed, and I think it's going to be really beneficial to your kids and you to keep doing this. So, and then I realized this was really helpful, Denise, because during meditation, our goal is to not necessarily label, but it was helpful to realize how to label outside and how much my brain wants to kind of review things that happen during the day. And so when we did the meditation and the body scan, like we got to our eyes, and I literally just went to the eye doctor today and I got to pick out new glasses. So then my brain wants to celebrate my new pink glasses that are coming. So it's just good self-awareness about what my brain wants and when it's helpful and when it's not and how to turn it off. And so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. For me, it's like, it just distance stuff, like, and when we do this, we've done one class where we did different depths of awareness, right? So we're sitting in meditation trying to focus on our breath, and we hear the clock, and then we do hear the train. Now the clock's in the room and the train's 3 blocks away, 6 blocks away, and we hear the airplane, and that's miles away. And we start realizing that as human beings, we have amazing distance of awareness, right? And we start going, whoa, we wonder why it seems like so much is happening within us. Well, if not even consciously, we're aware of this airplane that's, I don't know how high up it is, but it's not close to me. What are all the things happening between me and the airplane that I'm also aware of? Like, holy camoles, right? So to keep that more simple and just to have it here. And what did it do for you guys when I said praying is talking and meditating is listening? Did that cause any kind of shift? I don't think I delivered that one clearly enough.
I took away from that. To me, I really listened in and just asked for guidance, and I got what I was looking for. So I liked that was added into it right at the end. It was beautiful.
Good, thank you. And then I think for me, why I get so like, oh my God, I'm so grateful that you guys are here with me, because you really do help me have a higher basis of like baseline of sureness, or not confident, that sounds too cocky, but like this more calmness. If, like in the beginning, I was saying trauma is something that happens when we have a big emotion and no one to share it with, then sitting and listening to whatever might arise. Sometimes we're afraid to do that because what might arise could be a traumatic situation from something we didn't even realize. But when we're in community and we know that we're being held by each other, sometimes it lets this this opening happen a little bit more than we would if we were just sitting here by ourselves, meditating, going, I got this, everything's great, right? There's some kind of energy that comes into it that says, if something big is going to come up for me or happens to sideswipe me that I didn't expect, when this is all over, I can share that and be with somebody and it won't be traumatic. Where maybe if I'm with myself and this big thing came up, now I'm crying for 10 minutes afterwards going, holy cow, that was a little too big for me right now or something. So I think it's interesting and important for us to do our practice alone sometimes and to do it together sometimes and see how those different atmospheres hold us. See, I was gonna say while we were labeling tonight, I wanted to say, you know, is that number one champion of you right behind you going, right on, you're doing awesome right now when you're listening? You know, is the number one fan of yours right there? Is that what you're hearing? That's not my default for sure. It doesn't mean I'm necessarily beating myself up, but I have to like ask that voice to come into the room and say, hey, is that person that really believes in me here too? And then kind of invite her to show up. I also want to offer out, this is amazingly powerful that we are here as women coming together with strength. And I want to make sure that we know whether we are women or we are men, coming together in this type of atmosphere is a strong coming together. And I'm trying very hard to stop the differences between us and really focus on what we all share in common, no matter anything that's different that we might see. Men, women, color of skin, religion, anything like that. I just want to try to foster this. We humans are here together, right? Maybe, as you can see, and is normal, maybe 90% of compassion practitioners and mindful practitioners are female. And it would be so beneficial, I think, if we opened ourselves to inviting the male audience in, inviting them to feel safe in an atmosphere where we tend to feel more safe, because I think of our, like, there's an innate something that's a little more compassionate that even the Dalai Lama says in females than males. But I would love to invite men to come in with us and to feel like they're equals with us as we practice compassion together. So if there's anything that I have said or led us through tonight that was uncomfortable or felt yucky or created discomfort, I'm so sorry, and please forgive me. If there's anything that you feel like you brought that wasn't just welcomed by everybody, or that you're questioning, should I have said that, or did I say that funny, or whatever, no, love yourself and we love you and it's all forgiven, and don't take anything with you that's not positive, please. And may the great merit that we create by coming together with such a positive, beautiful intention come to full fruition, and may all that merit be immediately redistributed out to the people who are hurting right now, the people who need someone right now, the people who need safety and to be held right now. May they feel the energy of the good work that we've done, and may this be passed on immediately to them. And as always, may all wars everywhere immediately stop. May we focus on what we share and how much we are alike, so that we can all hold each other in a loving, safe atmosphere. Thank you so much for being with me again. Thank you.
Oh gosh,
Thank
those
you.
are beautiful.
Can I?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys.
All
Thank you.
right.
Thanks, Denise.
Have a good
Aloha.
Night.
Take care.
Thanks,
Denise.
Denise.
Aloha.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Mhm.
Bye, Wen.